In the previous lesson, we looked at adding styles to our tags. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the standard tags. So we have some content here, and let's go ahead and go back to our original content. Sharks, and kill that tag, kill that one, and then tag 3. We're almost there. So what happens is it's inconvenient to have to add a tag each time and then add a style for each one, and then say I want that font size this, that font size that. Rather, there's some standard tags, and for example H1 is a standard tag, and you can find a list of them. Standard HTML tags. If you just Google it, I would ignore the W3 Schools one and go to mozilla.org or something that looks a little bit more reputable. And W3 Schools is fine, but Mozilla, for example, these are the guys who make Firefox. And it goes through and it lists all the different tags we have here. So headers, these ones are they're meant to be used for headers. So I'll show you the style here in a second. There's divs, there's paragraphs. And I wouldn't worry too much about memorizing all these. And as you move along, you'll kind of begin using them. But the most important thing is it doesn't matter most of the time. So let's go back to our code here for a second. And I'm just going to show you H2. And let's add a little subheading to this. Sharks are cool. We love sharks. Then I'm going to add two others here. I'm going to add a paragraph tag and a paragraph tag there as well. So let's save it and refresh it. And this is looking much better. So the question is, what is the difference between H1, H2, paragraph, and those three? The reality is there's not a big difference other than they just have a different preset or starting styles. For example, H1 starts with a font size of 2 EM, which is another unit of measurement. It has a display of block, and you can see it has its font weight is bold, and a few other ones are specific to Chrome. H2, it's just slightly smaller, it has a font size of 1.5 EM, and you can see those have changed as well. But practically speaking, if we go ahead and we change that font size to 2 EM, H1 and H2 are the exact same at this point. Well, not the exact same, but I guess if we wanted to really make them the exact same, we'd have to overwrite these ones right here. So we'll just add them on. Awesome. So at this point, H1 and H2, there's not a difference between them, at least from a style perspective. Now, search engines will categorize them differently, but that's beyond the scope of what we're talking about here. So kind of going back to the core concept, there's nothing special about standard tags. Standard tags just mean that the default styles that are assigned are slightly different, but you can override them. And let's talk about styles for just a minute. So if we select an element and you go to the computed or styles, it changes where it shows up depending on a few factors. But how many styles are there? So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom here. I'm just selecting them all. And I'm going to stop before the dash prefix, because the dash prefix are they're typically experimental styles, or ones that aren't fully baked yet. And anyway, those ones are linked to the browser. So just for fun, let's just see how many styles there are currently in Chrome, whatever version I'm in. So I'm going to paste them all into Sublime here. Then I'm going to do a little reformatting here. And you can see in this version of Chrome, there are exactly 200 styles. And change this to set syntax to CSS, and Let's wrap this so it looks right. We're not actually applying it to the body. I was just trying to get it to format a little bit nicer. But yeah, there's 200 styles, and once again, like, people miss this point all the time. Every tag has every style applied to it. They just have different values applied to it. So you can see that H1 and H2, they're just slightly different, but they still have all the same styles. So in the next one, we're going to talk about how to, so this is known as an inline style, and we're going to talk about other ways of applying styles